Hi, I'm Ryan.
I'm Ollie,
This is Cynical Cinema.
and we just finished watching Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Before we go into the nitty gritty of the actual story itself, should we address the elephant in the room? That being
Yeah,
Peter Cushing?
I quite liked it. I liked him being in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think unless you knew he was dead, they did
I think
so well.
I think people kind of did.
But yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was 60 in the
Yeah.
70s version.
Yeah, good point. But they did damn good with him.
Oh, they did. I think most people were like, why?
Yeah, could have left him out. But since it's a prequel.
I mean, I saw it in the film, in the cinema, and you didn't.
No.
But when I saw it in the cinema, I thought, okay, he's at a window, he's talking some stuff, okay, maybe they've got some sort of voice actor to do the voice of Peter Cushing, fair enough. Then he turns around and you're like, oh my god, that is Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
It's actually Peter Cushing. But I could still see the uncanny valley staring back at me at the same time. It was very conflicting. I liked it, at the same time I didn't. I don't know how I feel about it really.
See, not being a massive Star Wars fan.
But you don't need to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, but it didn't bother me that they used him. And I think because I'm not much of a Star Wars fan, that it doesn't get my goat like it has you.
No, I don't think it's a Star Wars. I don't think Star Wars fans are up in awe about it. I think it's just the general community that's a bit.
That they use.
Should they use his image
Well,
without his permission?
yeah, I suppose.
First, when he's dead, you don't get consent. But
Family.
I think she said she was okay with it. Why?
Must have been, otherwise it wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have thought. But I would have imagined that a nice chunky brown envelope probably passed hands.
I think it would have been fine if it was just like one scene, like that scene at the
He
beginning.
was in it quite a bit.
But he was in at least 3 or 4 scenes. So when they finally did it, they thought, oh, it's actually pretty good. Let's stick him in for 3 or 4 scenes.
Yeah.
Let's stick him in for quite a bit of it. That's the scary bit. When you think, oh, this is what they can do with dead people.
Yes.
Imagine what they could do with real people that they can't afford. They can just say, oh, you know what, let's bring in, I don't know, Johnny Depp, say. We can't afford him, but, you know, we can afford his likeness.
Bring him
in.
But if you're still alive, then that's when you have negotiating power, where you can just be like, oh, I don't want to do the movie, and if you want my likeness in there, then I'm going to charge you what I would have charged you to be in the film anyway.
But there have been loads of actors, since CG's got to the extent that it has, saying that, oh, are digital actors going to replace real life actors? Am I ever going to be on set ever again?
They can't, because you still need someone to do the voice, you still need the mannerisms, there still needs to be some sort of human element there. Like, look how good like Call of Duty is now when they're using real actors and they're like dotting up their faces and they look like them and
I think they look worse.
and the way they move. They do.
I think some companies do it better. Like you don't know much about Lord of the Rings, really, do you? But they know how to do motion capture.
Yeah.
They do it incredibly well. They've got a whole entire department that's dedicated to motion capture and doing all that stuff, which they did on this one. The entire department was dedicated to Peter Cushing's face.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very
Very convincing.
It was.
I don't think you can really say the same thing about Princess Leia too much.
No.
It was a little bit more off-putting. I think she looked younger in this one than she did in the first film.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I know it's obviously before the first film, timeline-wise, but even still, it was like a few weeks before the first film.
Yeah. Yeah, just as the Rebels and the Alliance was all coming together. Yeah. What did you think of the film as a whole? Acting-wise, script-wise, direction?
Well, I know the director also did the recent Godzilla film, which I didn't see, but I know a lot of people disliked.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
He has a distinct style to his work. Sort of sacrifices story and characters for
spectacle
and visuals, and the visuals are stunning.
It did look great.
They are very stunning.
It does look great.
But here's the main problem. Can you name a single character from Rogue One apart from K2SO? You can't, can you? That's the main problem with this film. You don't care. You don't care about their struggle. You don't care about the Rebel Alliance. You don't care about anything.
No, and nothing even know Darth Vader.
Yeah. Show a little bit of Darth Vader. Oh, might as well talk about his end scene.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was
Slight
great.
boner, just saying.
No, it was done.
Yeah.
It was done well, but that's.
I mean,
pretty-
the film was plagued by reshoots and loads
Yeah,
of
yeah, it
other
was.
issues, and you could tell it was that sort of.
It was dragging.
Yeah.
But then none of the cast. Forrest Whitaker was great. I do like him as well, so I might be a bit.
He was wasted.
He was wasted, and he's a top actor as well. Top actor, and he was the only one that like when he was talking and stuff, like you believed like what he said. That's why like when
Even with that afro that he had.
yeah, but even when he died, he was like the only one. The only ones I actually had compassion for was a dude that was supposed to be a bit of a bit part man,
Yeah.
and a robot.
That's your problem. If the only human characters in the film are not really human characters, then that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, yeah. And like when everyone else died, I was just like, oh, I'm a bit gutted about that. Bit gutted about that. But when the robot died, and when he's still taking pelters for him just to get his job done, you just like feel for you. And he was funny as well. You engaged with him from the start. The way he disliked her, and all his little like one-liners that he would just give with her, like how likely he is that she is to shoot the other fella. That's the thing. I can't even name it.
You can't. That's the main drawback of the film. I want to give this film a good review because I really like seeing all that.
It wasn't awful.
Cinema.
It was great to watch, and
See,
I wish I had seen it in cinema.
Seeing it in cinema is a huge spectacle, and you're glad that you saw it. But
Mm.
then when you rewatch it, I mean, this is my second time watching it. There is a lot of problems with this film. There are flaws that stick out like a sore thumb after you eventually let the nostalgia just melt away and reveal what the film's really about.
Mm. But it wasn't awful.
Yeah, I mean, it goes through cycles. I mean, you go through the long slog phase of introduction, then you get to Peter Cushing, and oh my god, that's amazing. And then after that, you go through the other long slog, which is the second act, which shouldn't be a long slog. It should be like one of the best parts.
Yeah, it should be.
And then Darth Vader comes on screen, you're oh, great,
Brilliant.
that's amazing.
And then it brings it down
And
again.
then he brings it down
And then
again,
there's a good fight.
and then it gets a good epic final
Yeah,
sequence.
and then you have a few people dying that you like. Some of them you care about, some of them you don't. You just like
Well, let's face it, most of them you don't really care.
you don't care about that.
I mean, when people were dying off left and right, we were just saying like, oh, I don't care really.
No. It was just,
Don't
yeah,
care
like I
about
said,
you.
it was the robot.
The robot, K2SO, you actually had a character.
Yeah, he
He had
no facial expressions.
He had a character, he
couldn't
had
do anything.
personality. That's the main thing. None of the other characters had personality.
But I don't think even with Daisy Ridley in the last one, I don't think they cast them well.
Yeah, but I mean, even with all the guys on the Rogue One team, it was like, who is that person? Oh, he's the blind one.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was good.
Yeah, he was good, but
Yeah,
even still, you can't describe him other than saying, oh, he's the blind one.
and you knew
That is
you
his
knew
character.
as soon as
He
you
doesn't have much of a personality. The same goes for the demolitions expert. Who was his name? No idea.
Don't know.
Second time watching it, I swear his name's never brought up.
Is he the dude that's with the blind guy?
Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
that's shooting stuff.
And you knew
Don't know what his name is, don't care if
As
he
soon as
died.
you were introduced to them as like a pairing,
Yeah.
you knew that like one of them was going to die. At least one of them was going to die, and you had a good feeling it was going to be the blind one because he went into a battle and he can't see. And then, yeah, he did the only meaningful thing in the whole fight, pretty much by like blind and like finding his way, saying I'm one with the Force and the Force is one with me. Or whatever, and he just like hits a button. How many buttons are on that console?
Oh yeah.
And through sheer, I was going to say blind luck, but I didn't think of that as a bad joke. He literally just like whacked one button. It's like you could have destroyed the planet, you could have ordered a pizza, but you happened to have just done the right thing, and then you died. It's again for me, it was Star Wars. It was lots of well, you got the like yeah.
Is it rubbing off on you yet?
No, not really. No, I'd like genuinely.
I bet you did quite like Force Awakens though.
I did quite like Force Awakens.
Even with Daisy Ridley's performance.
Yeah, but again, and I liked the other ones, but it's the same with any big franchise that, like, if you're not a fan, like Lord of the Rings, I'll watch that. I'll watch Star Wars, but I'm not sitting there going, if someone wanted to bring up with a proper, and if someone brought up a massive conversation with it about me, I would swiftly lose interest because it's just.
You weren't there, Ryan.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know. It was good. Rogue One was good, and it was great. Like I said, it was great to watch. Every time, I think I mentioned this.
Every time something happened,
you're like,
it was
wow,
good to
how
watch.
good does that look? How good does that ship look?
Yeah.
How good does that crash look? How good does those explosions? The deaths, like when people are getting blown up and stuff. It's like reminiscent of like when people are flying in the air in like Saving Private Ryan on the beach.
I will give the film this credit. It does blend CG with practical
Very well.
stuff very
well.
They could have just gone like, okay, CG explosion here. Like, you can get away with that in space. No one will shame you for doing that.
No.
There is on the ground. You can tell that it's going to be
Yeah.
a practical explosion or not. There's
Yeah.
sparks flying and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Dirt is in the air.
Yeah. No, it looked good. It looked great. No, I was happy with it. I can't remember what I gave Force Awakens, but I'll give this a 7. And it's only because it wasn't terrible, but there wasn't enough in it for me to go looking forward to watching that again. Now that's just a case of all the other Star Wars, like for me, when people go, "Have you seen Star Wars?" and I go, "Yeah," instead of no and get pelters for it.
This is going to be the first of 2 more spin-off Star Wars films.
Yeah, and I've still got the originals. The originals to watch?
Oh, the prequels.
No, prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, still got the prequels to watch.
The next one's coming out is Han Solo.
And again, will probably be quite good, but
It's got Daenerys Targaryen in it.
It'll be very good. I'm looking forward to it.
I hope she's a good actress though.
She's not an amazing actress, but she's not silicate.
Should we talk about the actress in this one?
I just thought she was just
Do you
down.
know what her name is?
No.
Problem number 1 again. You don't know anyone.
No,
You don't care.
I don't. I genuinely don't care. I don't care who she is because I didn't think she was that great. And again, like I said, the only people that really stood out was the robot and Forrest Whitaker's character, and I can't remember his fucking name. Yeah, and Peter Cushing as well. Yeah. But again, he's dead, and they did very well with bringing him back to life. Forrest Whitaker was brilliant, but I do like him in everything. He's a very good actor and wasted in this film. But her, I don't know if they don't hire or cast anyone big, so that there's nothing that they can like.
There are plenty of big people in this film.
Yeah, but I mean like someone like with a new character. It's just like you could have.
But I mean, Forrest Whitaker, they could have got anyone to fill that space.
They could have, but he is great. They can't. He's like the only decent casting. Really. I mean, the acting wasn't bad in a lot of it, but
I mean, I can't remember the gal's name, but the guy who plays director Krennic, I think he was pretty good for what he was trying to do.
yeah. And again,
As a villain, he was fine.
yeah. And again, like I said, the acting wasn't awful, but I just didn't care about it.
Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen. The guy said, "Oh, the guy from Casino Royale."
Oh yes, of course, yeah. Well, he is.
I mean, he had
Yeah.
quite a large role to play in this.
But again, you get sucked into him because he's a face you know.
Yeah.
As soon as he popped up, I was like, I know him.
Again, the original trilogy of Star Wars, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and everyone else was all just no names. No one knew who these guys were.
No, yeah, but this was in like the 80s,
70s.
70s, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're all still young, and obviously it was
So-
something that had just started.
All we had to go on was the story, and it was enough to
Yeah.
keep the people entertained and
It was.
excited.
And also a lot of space stuff hadn't been
But
done.
I knew people in this film, and I wasn't excited about any of it. I was entertained. I was definitely entertained, but I was not excited. I was not necessarily wanting more.
No, it didn't feel like an effort though to watch. It flowed. I think it flowed quite well.
They put all their eggs.
It was nice not having lots of screen wipes as well.
Yeah.
There's a change of scene. Screen wipes.
They put all their eggs to one basket, which wasn't really the basket to care about too much.
No. But,
Which was probably Peter Cushing's face,
which was great.
which is a lovely face.
I'll give it a 7.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A solid 7 as well. Because it wasn't terrible. But again, it didn't have enough for me to want to remember the characters or anything like that. I mean, loads of people, again, this is just opinions when it comes down to stuff like this. Some people love it, people hate it. I thought it was just a bang average 2 hours and 15 minutes of Star Wars, which is, for me, kind of what they all are.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that. 7 as well for me.
Yeah. 7.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers. We'll see you for the next one, which I don't know what we'll do next.
No.
Anything on cinema? Pirates, probably.
Maybe Pirates.
Maybe Pirates. Look forward to that. Okay, guys. See you next time.
Cheers.
Take care.